Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And my goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can decide whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching a particular film. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Branching Out. This very cute Hallmark movie is all about discovering your family's ancestry, now playing on the Hallmark and Peacock channel. The rating is TVG. It's very family friendly. It's an hour and 30 minutes long. And my overall movie review mom grade is a B plus. Now, today's sponsor is a shameless plug about one of my books that I wrote about how to do your genealogy, since this movie is about climbing your family tree and learning how to honor your heritage. And so click on the link below in the description and it'll link you to Amazon, where you can find it as an ebook, a print book, or an audio book. I actually wrote this book with my twin sister many years ago, and she and I have been obsessed with genealogy and find it to be a very fun hobby, as well as a gift to family members as we learn more about our own family and can teach our kids and our grandkids. I know, I actually have 3 grandkids. What? How did that happen? Well, they're babies, so they don't care about our family history just yet, but they will someday. Anyway, let me give you an overview in a nutshell about this film, and then I'll give you tips for parents, themes worth talking about if you do watch it with your family. I'll share things I liked, things I didn't like, interesting lines, funny lines, and we'll finish up with recommendations for some other films that I think you'll also really like if you like this one. And you might even like the other ones better than this one. All right, so let's dive in. This is a very sweet movie based on a true story. I mean, the movie itself would have been sweet by its own, but the fact that it's a true story makes it extra special. A young girl has a project at school to build her family tree. You might have had the exact same project when you were in elementary school, but she doesn't know who her biological father is because her mom chose to be a single mom and used IVF to get pregnant. It becomes a journey of trust, love, and discovering the meaning of family. The film was directed by McLean Nelson. So, some quick tips for parents are that first, a little girl asks for coffee. Now, I don't drink coffee at all, but I know in some families they don't allow kids to drink coffee because it's a pretty intense uh, essence, right? Anyway, so I'm just sharing content. You can decide if you want to talk to your kids about this stuff. The next thing is that there is talk of a sperm donor. And so I think your kids, especially if they're younger, are going to have questions about what that's all about. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well and worth talking about are genealogy, again, discovering your family's roots, honoring your heritage, being able to count on people, parenting, sperm donors, and the power of music, believe it or not. So there were a lot of things I really liked about this movie. First of all, I hadn't seen Sarah Do, the protagonist, in anything before, but I liked her a lot and immediately. Corabella is completely adorable and does a great job as a young starlet. Juan Pablo Pache or Pace does a really good job straddling the bad boy rock star persona and is generally a nice guy. The title refers to family trees, but I like that it also alludes to the idea of being open-minded and willing to try new things in your life. The movie poster is pretty cute too. Now, the movie takes place in Salt Lake City, Utah, where I actually was born. I only lived there about a year and then we moved back east and then we moved all the way back to California. And so really, I lived in California ever since I was 3 years old. But we get to learn about the pando, the famous tree that's in Utah. It's a great illustration in the movie about how families are interconnected with extended family and even others. The pando is this famous tree that has these roots that just go on and on and on under the ground. that extend far wider than anybody ever thought possible. So it's a really great analogy. So I also thought it was really cute when Ruby, the little girl, describes churros as heaven on a stick, which is actually pretty true, isn't it? We get to see how to cook birria tacos for a minute. Have you ever had those? All of a sudden, I see them everywhere. They are delicious. Growing up, I don't think anybody ever cooked them, or it wasn't a typical Mexican food that we ever saw. But now they're all the rage, and with good reason. They're very delicious. But in addition to that, we also get to learn a little bit about the Latino culture, something I personally have a very deep love for. I was an exchange student in Mexico when I was in high school, and I also lived in Spain for a couple of years and even attended a university in Spain, the famous Salamanca University, which is amazing. Now, with all of that praise, there were just a couple of things I could even think of that I didn't like or thought could have been done differently. For example, like most Hallmark movies, it's extremely predictable. It's always fun to spend time with really rich, beautiful, successful people, right? Which is also typical of Hallmark movies. So we see that as well. I also write down funny lines. Oops, sorry, I banged my microphone there. I write down funny lines and interesting lines while I'm taking notes and watching movies, simply so I can share them with you so you get a taste for the dialogue and the script writing quality. So I have a bunch of them. So you can see all of them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com, but I'll share a few of them with you right now. So, for example, on the list of funny lines, little Ruby is played by Cora Bella, and she's always learning new words. And I love that. My dad did that when I was growing up with my sisters. And to this day, I can picture the moment he taught me what loquacious means and even the word persistence. Anyway, I have very good memories of that. And so he says one day, no, the little girl says, "It's my word of the day, efficient." And so she learns what efficient is all about. And then Sarah Drew plays a character who says, "I guess you're not going to be super old when you're 18." And I love that when young kids think that, 18, 20, 30-year-olds are so old. Sarah Drew also says, "Are you doing okay?" And then the little girl says, "Are you kidding? I'm crushing it." So this little girl is quite precocious, has a real cute personality, and says funny things. Amelia's business partner at one point says, "My romantic fantasy is someone to do the dishes with," as they're talking about, who would be the ideal dream man. And if you're a guy and you're watching this, you got to know that that's true, that some of the sexiest things that guys can do are cook dinner for you, do the dishes, change the diapers, that kind of stuff. And I'm not even kidding. Now, there were some interesting lines too. For example, Sarah Drew says, "Remember to help somebody." And she actually intentionally has that on her list of things to do every day. And I love that. TJ's dad says a line when he says, quote, "We never feel like the people we want to be, especially as parents," which is true. We think parents should be all grown up and mature and never make mistakes, right? But we learn that obviously we all make mistakes, even if we are older parents. And then another line spoken by Sarah Drew's characters when she says, "You aren't defined by your genes or your parents. Only you get to decide who you are." And that's especially a great line because we have this young girl who doesn't know who her biological dad is. She knows who her mom is, but she definitely feels a void. She feels something's missing. And then when she does meet her biological dad, no big spoiler, that's in the trailer, then she questions who she is. Is she her dad? Is she her mom? And so Sarah Drew's character says, "Hey, you get to decide who you are. None of that stuff matters in the sense that it determines who you are. You decide." All right, so let me give you some recommendations for 3 Latino inspired movies that are about family that I thought that you might get a kick out of. So they celebrate Latino culture. The first one is called Blue Beetle, and it's one of the most recent superhero movies, and it features a Latino family, which is very unique. And it was a cute movie. Not the greatest of all superhero movies, but a nice addition to the collection. Another one that I love and I've seen a million times is a musical called In the Heights. Fantastic music, choreography, acting, the whole thing. The storyline, I really love it. So definitely check that one out. And then the last one is an animation called Coco. Now, growing up, I knew about the Day of the Dead, a Mexican cultural holiday where they decorate everything in the town with skeletons. And I always thought that was so creepy. I'm like, why are they doing that? It's so gross and creepy. And I didn't get it at all until I saw Coco. Now I think it's such a sweet cultural tradition to decorate with the skeletons. And I understand the symbolism behind them. And if you kind of felt the same way, you're like, wow, skeletons, I don't know. Watch Coco. And by the way, you can click on the links down below in my description. They'll take you to Amazon where you can rent or purchase any of those movies, as well as other links for a free 30-day trial on Amazon and that kind of thing. And my book, that link is also down below. All right, that's it. Hopefully my review is helpful. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe, you know the drill, and have a fantastic day. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.